Hello, so we're doing roughly the same design on, I'm guessing, a four-wheel drive and a two-wheel drive. Not 100% sure. I've changed the design slightly. I've gone a bit more fussy on this one. I've put an extra star in there, and I haven't done it on this one because I've elongated and made a bigger star on this one. I just thought it looked neater. That looks a little bit too... So I'm nearly finishing the end of number one on the shading with the stars. I've already done all the pinstripe around the windows. You'll see when I start taking some of the mask away. I've just been shouting at the TV watching the F1, so trying to stay awake mostly. Awesome. I would normally wear gloves. I haven't got any left. I keep forgetting to order some, so completely my fault. I've got two different types of tweezers. I've got a fatter pair and then a longer, narrower pair. And it's just a case of what... I definitely prefer these wider ones. Got a nicer feel to them. Hello Ashley? Sorry, Ash. I only want a little bit of those showing. So that's stars within stars. Just thought of that. Obviously not the joke, because that was rubbish. I've put a little bit of reducer in with the black, so it's not drying as quickly as I'm used to. And I can't really say I'm getting any better results than I would do if I wasn't using it, dry tip wise. That's what I'm trying to alleviate. It's where the paint sticks, it dries on the tip before it gets off and it gums up, and you end up getting a really bad point. And I haven't really figured out how to get rid of it yet. I think I made this batch just a little bit too wet, but it's trial and error. But this is using my Spiramax Max 3. I've actually got to see what colour. I've got to do the inside of the stars. That's what I'm working off. So that's dark blue. So I'm going to do dark blue in the stars and on the roof. Tim, do you mean the solvent stuff from Rich Paint? Which I've just ordered a new batch of. I think I've got enough in there for one job, and I've had, that's empty, that's empty, that's empty, and that's empty. Oh, and that one's nearly empty. I like this stuff. It smells, but it's solvent. At some point I'm going to post them all the bottles back. So no, I haven't tried it at the start. I've kind of now got used to the way, because he told me to do pinstripes last with the chrome, and it took me a long time to adjust my style in it to pull the pinstripes up last. It's a complete culture, well, change of style. Now, I've done a black pinstripe on the roof, which you can't see yet. So I'm not going to muck about doing any fades or anything, because I've already spent all the time cutting a nice line into it. Hopefully a nice line. I must admit, I'm looking forward, I'm not going to say this very often, to getting back to painting touring cars, because there's a lot more space on touring cars than there is on these things. But I've got, how many more of these I've got to do? So I've got 3 more buggy shells to start after these 2. And then I've got an F1 shell to do for the raffle at King's, so that'd be fun. It just depends how thick you put it on. If you put it on too thick, it just melts everything. But if you put it on like slowly and build it up over a couple of coats, yeah, I have done. Well, I've used it later on, sorry, and it's not melted anything. So yeah, I think it would work at the start. But I've kind of now got my stuff together, if that makes sense. I don't want to do it at the start. I think having learned now the difference, it seems I get better results if I do pinstripes last, because it makes me think more and put more effort in. I've now got to try and find 2 different blues. So I could use the same blue and put some silver in it. Or I could use some of that. I could use solid blue, or I could use neon blue, or I could use pearl blue. I just want to see if I've got the best change of colour between. Probably going to be neon. Neon blue will be brighter as well. I've made myself a little ledge here with all my colours on it, so I can kind of see them a bit easier. Then come the winter, I'll have this in a box and I'll just take them in the house because it'd be way too cold. Yeah, don't change design or if you've agreed something with somebody, I send them a final picture and say, is that what you're happy with? Then I go. If you're starting to change stuff up and then making mistakes, then that's a prime example as why you don't do it. I should put some stars in the roof. Won't hurt if I put a couple of just at the front. Because I could then do it on the step as well. If I do hex. Stars. Only really lightly. I only want these just to show up. If I was being really sneaky, I could do this in a different colour, but blue. This mask is probably already past its best, but it's good for just laying down like this. Right, another water. This is the difference in guns. This is where it would be nice now to get all the same guns, because I have my Infinity Pro as well. Should put the needle back on that guard. Because I'm using so many different guns and so many different PSI. I mean, what sprays through the Sparmax won't spray through the Eclipse, because the Eclipse has got a bigger needle. Mind you, it wouldn't matter if I changed guns, because it would still be the same needle size, so I'd have to change it. I'm talking gibberish. So it would just be nice to have the same guns replicated 3 times over, then I've only got to carry 1 set of spares, really. I would still have to adjust the PSI, I'm talking gibberish there. Wow, I corrected myself. It's a first. So a little bit of reducer, because I didn't clean the gun out properly, because I'm a lazy what's-it, because it was like 3 o'clock one morning, so all I did was to throw a load of reducer cleaner on top of it. I still haven't had time to make my own batch up of my basil brush flush, so I'm using my bought stuff from Hobby Knox, available from Schumacher. Tim, if you try ghosting or doing shading with pearl, it's an absolute nightmare. It does not work. Pearl does not, like neon, it's very difficult to shade with. It's neon impossible. You just can't get a nice fine line with any pearl or neon. Well, I can't. If you can, let me know how. I've given up. Right, so we're going to go darker blue in the roof section and the stars where I can. I'm running out of these colours now, so that's Wicked Blue in the Paratex Wicked range. It's a bit bluer on camera. In real life, it looks a bit sort of purpley in this camera on this camera. Obviously, you're seeing the easy bit, sorry, the fast bit, which is the painting. I've probably spent, well, I masked them all at once, so I did a batch of 8 shells all masked at the same time, so that took me a couple of hours over the course of an afternoon when it was really hot. And then I've just been doing 1s and 2s. I've been trying not to rush this order because there's 8, and to try and get a good quality of artwork, which is what I'm trying to do now. I'm not trying to bash out hundreds of shells. I want to do quality work. I'm trying to limit how many I do at once, which hopefully means it will give me a better quality of finish. Well, that's the idea. Don't bash me up on that. And so I've probably spent a good 2 hours just drawing on each and cutting on each. So I've probably invested 5-6 hours in prep for these before I start the paint. I've got it with me here. I'm still super proud of the one I finished the other night. And this looks absolutely mustard, this does. You can't really see it in this camera. But I got some wicked bits in this purple. I was really very, very happy with that, which is the idea. Doesn't do it justice on this sort of webcam thingy. Webcam's not a very good camera. I'm trying not to heat it too quick. This hairdryer that my wife gave me is way more powerful than the last one, so the heat settings on it are a lot more aggressive, so I'd be a bit more careful with how long I hold it on the shelf for. I mean, it's obviously not as hot as a heat gun, sorry, because that would really melt the shelf. You can do damage to the paint if you heat it too quick. Because it kind of dries on itself rather than what it's on, so then it builds a layer, and so then it just breaks off. No, Joe, just on here. I've decided I'm too old and stuff for Twitch. I don't like it. Tried it, did all right at it. Completed it and all that, but I find it more everyone's on here, and as much as I've tried to get people over to watch me, nobody did, so I thought I'd come back to here. I do upload this onto YouTube a day or two after, well, next day to be honest, tomorrow. What I will really do then, to make everyone watch it on YouTube, I've really got to kind of delete it off of here, but I'll see what happens. But I've decided I'm not going to become sort of an internet sensation, which I didn't assume anyway. But I feel more comfortable being on Facebook. I don't like the idea people can sort of sub you money stuff. Kind of implies I'm some sort of performing thing, and I'm not. So I'd rather not have I don't know. I feel like you when someone starts giving you money, you think, well, hang on, why am I? What do they want? I'm not particularly keen on that. I want to be known as a painter, not as a performing. It was getting way stressy as well, doing so many live streams. I just haven't got the time at the moment. If I did go onto Twitch, I would get, well, I'm still happy with it. I was getting probably 20-ish people watching me. Whereas if I stream on here, come the morning, it's had 1,500 views. Well, the show the other night got me loads. And you just, there's more correlation with if I stream on Facebook, and then because I'm on Facebook. Right, now that isn't a pearl blue, it's a normal blue. It's quite a flat colour there, so, and it's still pretty translucent. I mean, you can't see on that camera. Obviously this is the downfall of Facebook, you can't see the quality of the, well, to my benefit, you can't see the quality of the paintwork. But you also can't see that you can see through those. But I can. So I've got to back them, and I don't know if I'm going to back them with black yet or white. If I do them with white, they'll become way brighter. I don't want that. I'm going to do black. Will that show up? Oh, bollocks, who cares? I'll try it. I'll do it in the middle bit. Yeah, too dark, but good shading. That was a lucky practice. It doesn't matter how much you think you got it clean, you haven't. Especially when you're doing massive colour changes. Yeah, that's giving the right colour. So you can't see that. That's, I'm happy with that. Kind of interested and also scared and nervous to see what these stars look like, because I've drawn all this by hand, and especially when it's a star at an elongated angle. It took me ages to get happy with it, and then I had to mirror it. So it's all like getting it look good on one side. You then got to flip it round and draw it on the other. And then you then got to do it on a completely different scale shell the next one. So everything's freehand. No stencils. Right, so now it's the lighter blue. And obviously you go darkest colour first. Hence why you do all your black pinstripes first, and your window frames if you're doing so in black. Try and get all your dark colours out the way first, so they don't bleed into anything else. Which might still be a bit too hot. Who else watched the Spanish Grand Prix tonight? Right, I don't know, have I got this in my memory banks right? Had Spain lost the Grand Prix this year? Is it only because of COVID they had around there this year? Oh my god, it was dull. And I can't remember, this is how bad I think of the Spanish Grand Prix. I can't remember if I have been personally to 2 or 3 races there. I think I went to 3 in a row, but I can't remember because it's that boring. And I was there. I went the year that Hakkinen broke down on literally the last lap and Schumacher won. That was a good race because obviously I'm a Ferrari fan. I can't remember any other times I've been there. I remember it's the first time I ever saw an F1 car in action, in anger, coming down the straight. It's like someone had thrown a dart. They were so fast. And then I got bored very quickly because they're all stopping in the same place and they're all accelerating in the same place. And absolutely nothing happened. But they were loud. They were very loud. They were the V10s then, or V8s. No, V8s or V10s? I can't remember which ones it was now. They were loud. Me and my brother went and we walked the track at admission one year. and then I think I had grandstand seats for 2 years on the bounce. But that's how dull I think the race is, that I've been there. I went by coach, and 24 hours in a coach, and I can't remember if I went 2 times or 3 times. Obviously this was before wives and kids and stuff. Remember the motorsport company, and they put you in a hotel. They drive you from central London to a hotel near the track, and then bus you to the track for all 3 days. And I also went to the Italian Grand Prix with them like that as well, because it was very good. Page and Moy, I think that's what they were called. Right, so the stars have revealed themselves a little bit. Hopefully they won't look too wonky. It's always the worry. Obviously I've done that off of a I've drawn everything off of that photo, so that's the only reference I've had, and I've zoomed that up about. So I took 3 different. Take a photo, you screen grab it, and I stretched it a bit more, then screen grabbed it, and then stretched it a bit more, and then got it to a point where I could see what I was actually doing. Also, what I've done is I've done an inner frame on the windows, which, if I've done it right, it says. Should remove in 1. I must admit, I've had better things, fun things to do than trying to cut pinstripes this small. Phew. I can't even see that. So there's an outer frame which I've done in black, and then this is a lighter frame which hopefully will look passable and even. You can just make it out there. There's a secondary frame I've done, and on the inside of the window, and on the main side windows as well. Now it's just a case of repeating it on the other one. Fun. We'll do the hard bit first. I normally always wear gloves, so I'm being very careful not to put my fingers anywhere near the Lexan. That I've cleaned and have been covered in mask. I've done an outer edge on this one, which I did before I came online, and that's a thick black line to match the window frames. Yay, all done. Well, that bit. This is a case of less is more, but you've got to learn what less is more. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you don't. I think I got that right. There is no wrong or right. Was the line from the Matrix when he's trying to show the kid the spoon? There is no spoon. That was a bit deep, sorry. I was guilty of this, and I've been trying to tell this to people that I've kind of been helping, that less is more. I remember when I first started, oh yeah, I'll put every single pattern on this show, it's gonna look amazing, and they don't. They just look really messy. But you're so chuffed with them, you can't hear what people are saying. And I went through that stage of, oh, I've got this, oh, I've got that, oh, I've got this, I've got this. Oh, it's going to look nice on the shelf, so I put it on. And you end up putting every sort of pattern you can think of on it. And then you look at one of the established painters and they've got like one pattern on there, and it looks so much better. So I've been trying to pare back what I do and just trying to make what I'm doing look cleaner. And hopefully the design isn't getting swamped with 20 different patterns. Now, do I want to put that down the door? No, I don't, because I want to put too much. I can just said something. So in theory, that's my black finished with. So I'm being a tight ass because I haven't got much black left. Detail black, if anyone's interested. 0051. I know the code without having to say it. Look at it. Sorry, it's wicked, and it's detail. They do a detail black, and it's my go-to black now. But I put that little bit of reducer in it as well, so the 4012 reducer and the detail black, and it seems to work. But I didn't try it in the CS Harder and Steinbeck I've got, because that's the one that's been getting the dry tip. My Sparmax and my Iwata don't seem to have the dry tip issue on anywhere near as bad as the Harder and Steinbeck. So I thought I got it clean, and there's still, you can't see, and there's still a bit more. We were literally only doing a drop of, literally that was one drop of that. Right, so I've done the darker blue. I'm now going to use the neon. That's a good point. Have I got enough of it? Look, I need a cut through. That's plenty. These buggies don't use much paint. Talking about much paint, I've got another fifth scale shell coming for my German friends. Ah, so paint. Definitely stuck. Anyway. That's going in the bin in a minute. It's got bits in it. That one is going in the bin. Put bits in the blue. problem with neon colour is you need to make sure you get a really even finish, otherwise it looks blotchy when you put the white behind it. So sometimes it's better to overkill it. But if you want a brighter colour, don't run it as thick. But sometimes you might be leaving yourself open to blotchy paint. It should appear now because I'm about to take the last coat of mask off and then all white. But all white, no. But I've got to just dry this blue. Right, so we've got in this front section I'm going to do a tiny bit of chrome on the pinstripe at the front, so that's last. So I've got to remember not to remove that too aggressively and lose it. The temptation now is to pull the liquid mask away quickly. Trust me, I've done it way too many times. Playing that sort of Russian roulette. Well, I think my pinstripe line's around there somewhere, so if I just put the blading, the tweezers in there, it should be fine. what I've also done is, because I'm not familiar with buggy shells, I've drawn the outline of where I think, well, I think it's the cut line, and I've made sure I've painted past it. So hopefully, I made a boo-boo with an F1 shell a couple of weeks ago where I thought the bit finished and it didn't. So learn something. I think I did. Get someone send you a grumpy picture. You didn't. You removed this bit. We didn't do the pinstripe in this bit. Just because it's not my class means I should know. I shouldn't use that as an excuse. How can you tell what it sounds like, John? I've not had much experience with buggy shells, and most of these turned up without any details. They're in a big box. One turned up without an overspray on, so I've had to spray a coat of liquid mask on the outside, which should be fun when I get round to that one. Now this is where you can sort of take stock for a couple of seconds and just see what you've done. Because in theory, if you've got a good sharp pair of tweezers, you can tidy up any bleeds. Because sometimes your points lift up. Which that one's alright. Liquid mask is so much easier than tape though. But I learnt with tape, so can't criticise it. Although I am. Oh, I've had not this batch, but I had a batch of buggy shells turn up, and I sent them back. I was like, I can't paint that. I physically can't put a craft knife on it. It's gonna pop through. And he was grumpy, yes, but there's no way I could paint them. This was a couple of years ago. I think I'm slightly better with a craft knife now, but I still wouldn't do it. Nine times out of 10, if you get that gut feeling, don't do it. Now I can see how much these flex. I know these hadn't been cut out yet, but These are light. Not criticising. I'm just trying to see what's a bleed and what's a permanent marker mark. So it's tricking my eye at the moment. This one seems pretty clean. Right, the moment of truth, because this blue will brighten up now. Hopefully leave the darker blue darker. And this will all be nice and white, and then we've got a pinstripe on the front here, which traditionally I should back with chrome, and I'm going to look and see what it looks like, because I might leave it alone. Chrome, yeah, black. You put the chrome on, then you put black. And I might just chrome it. We'll see. Turn the PSI off of it. Obviously I've tried to keep these as light as possible, so I'm trying to use as minimal amount of paint as I can. I'm just trying to tidy up if there's any bits I've missed. Because obviously buggy shells last 100 years. Well, depends who's driving them, I suppose. The random buggy I had, the shell lasted donkeys. I was very upset. Right, a little bit of pinstripe and then we're done. As I keep saying, you've seen the quick and easy bit. The cutting and the masking and preparing is the hard bit. And the drawing, that's been an absolute killer in these. Right, Sparmax, mirror paint. I kind of agree, but I do try and keep my stuff as light as I can. I did get a telling off one time. Not from this customer. Right, 3 coats of solvent, cream, dusted on. You don't want to build this up too quickly. Hopefully there's enough in this pot. I'll give that a second. So I'm going to back it with black. So you're talking like about 2 or 3 drops. Obviously, if you don't have the luxury of like 2 or 3 brushes on the go, all you're doing constantly is cleaning brushes. Very, very boring. And there we are, we're done. Well, the painting bit anyway. That chrome looks nice. I find if I can get a corner and then twirl it around my tweezers, nearly come off in one then, damn. Otherwise you're picking at it. You can lose entire days picking out liquid mask. You'll see in the photos that there's a pinstripe around the window frames. That's assuming I'm allowed to take the overspray off. So double check. I was so happy with the other one the other night, I didn't actually ask, I just did it. Not that I'm not happy with these, just for the record. You can't see that very clearly at the moment, but there is distinct colour difference. It's just that the neon blue isn't showing up very well on my webcam. Yeah. You'll see when I put the pictures on that there's a lot more colour difference between these. It's just I was going to ask, I can't resist, I'm going to take the overspray off. If I have to, I'll put a coat of mask back over it. So these are 100% hand drawn, no masks. That explains why I do it. Yeah, look at that. You'll see in a minute when I put some photos up. There is colour difference, I promise. They are just so hard to get a good line on the inside of the window frames. So, thank you very much for watching. Well, that was 1 hour and 36 minutes. As I said, there's probably about another 6 hours that you didn't see, nor would you want to really, because it's even more boring than this. This is just the fun bit. So, thank you very much for watching. I'll put some pictures up in a minute and you can kind of see what they look like through my eyes anyway. So, any questions, let me know. Anything I need to do I'm doing wrong, let me know. Always like to learn, especially if someone's doing something completely different to how I'm doing it. Every day's a learning day. So thank you very much for watching. I'm sure I'll be back on I'm not actually keeping a diary as to when I'm painting live. I just paint live if I feel like it, because I've been run a bit ragged recently and I've burnt myself out when it comes to live streaming. But thank you very much for watching. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night.